Hi again, everybody. It is me, your host, Eric Brown, and I'm joined today with my friend Kevin.
Hello, everyone.
And welcome to the Pokemon Masters Roundtable, Part 3.
Okay, I can't count that high.
Yeah, it's all good. But we finally have Kevin back in studio today, so definitely going to be a fun one today.
I hope.
Oh, yeah. Always is.
You can laugh at my pokey ignorance.
Yeah, it's okay.
All the things I've forgotten.
Can reminisce about the past two episodes, too, with the goddamn Bidoof.
I'm not going to stop laughing about that bucktooth bastard.
Such a good episode. So, but yeah, Kevin and I, we figured, we go way back in the day as far as like our childhood and Pokemon and everything, and we've needed to do this one for a long time.
Yeah, had we known this was going to be a thing like podcasting 20-some years ago, we should have just recorded it on cassette tape.
Oh, my God.
And then brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
But, forward thinking has never been my strong suit.
But here we are today, podcasting and reminiscing about the past and all the old good stuff. So,
We're gathered here today.
Yeah. Childhood. Now, going back to Pokemania and everything, back then in the 90s, man, what all did we do? Do you remember, Pokemon Pogs were a thing back then, too, and, the coin game?
I don't remember the coin game.
Yeah.
I did, in the collection of Pokemon things that I had, have some coins, but I don't believe that they were part of a game.
Really?
Yeah, they were just like some goldish colored or bronze colored metallic quarter-sized coins.
Okay.
That were just, I think they were just like icons or...
Interesting.
Yeah. Or like little medallion kind of things.
You ever have any of the Burger King, collectors things? Like you go and get the big kids meal.
Was that the gold-plated little thing?
Yeah, they have the gold-plated thing you could get with a combo meal, and I think the kids meal actually came with the little collapsible Pokeballs that you could clink onto your belt.
Yeah. Had several of the Pokeball things and a couple of the gold coin things, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what they were.
I used to have a couple of the gold ones, but yeah, I've lost those to time.
Yeah, so all of my everything is gone.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I remember going over to Sean's place to play the Pokemon games. Did you have Pokemon for the Game Boy back in the day, too?
Yeah, you convinced me that it was a good idea.
Oh,
it totally was.
Totally right decision.
Yeah, it was a
What
good
version did you have? What Game Boy did you have?
We started with an original Game Boy, one of the gray ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I honest to God have no idea where that came from. I swear
just materialized.
I
swear we got a Game Boy now.
By sleight of hand that it just materialized in the house. I don't remember it.
Heck yeah.
We had Mortal Kombat with it. And then we got Pokemon Yellow, which was weird because I honestly didn't know there was other colors.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, Pokemon, whatever. And then everybody's like, oh, I'm playing Red and Blue. And I'm like, I've never heard of these. And they're like, where'd you get Yellow? And I'm like, I don't know. My parents bought it for me. It just showed up.
Yep.
And then they're like, oh, what'd you pick to start? I'm like, I don't know. It's Yellow. I didn't have a choice. It gave me Pikachu.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yellow is the only one, that just, you start off with Pikachu automatically. Yeah. It doesn't give you an option.
Like, you guys got a choice? What is this shit? I get the little mouse.
Yep. So that means you're probably dedicated Pikachu starter then?
No.
No?
I've always found Pikachu to be hilariously overrated.
Okay.
I played Red later on and went for Charizard. I know that's going to meet with a lot of...
Yet again. Boy.
But
we were 0 for 3. Got to get Sean on a pod episode here for Pokemon, so he's got my back with Squirtle.
Blastoise was a close second.
Yeah, there you go. So it's something.
Venusaur got toasted with last place.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, talking with James about that thing, yeah, he's great for the first, 4 gyms, and then after that, he just gets, throttled.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. I've liked Bulbasaur, too. Charmander, not as much. It's not my thing.
I mean, as a kid, I loved tacky, crappy movies, like the old Godzilla movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And...
all the dragons.
Giant turtle with cannon shell made me think extremely like goddamn Gamera.
Yes, Gamera. I was going to bring him up with the hilarious turbo boost on his legs.
The jetpack shell thing.
Yeah. The anime, or the whole cinematic of him just flying across the screen. You can still see the wires.
Yes, it's so damned absurd.
Goddamn Gamera.
It's goddamn Gamera.
Yep.
Was that a Rift? Not a Rift Tracks. What was that? That was a
Mystery Science. They did Rift Tracks a lot. Or not, yeah. Mystery Science Theater 3000, the early days in the early 90s. They did a ton of Gamera, movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's goddamn Gamera.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Turtle with cannon shell was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was depressing. I don't know how he sucked water through that to fire it at you.
Right. You always wonder, how in the world do they have all this extra energy to create all these random elements all the time?
Right.
Like Venusaur just, spawning a whole bunch of plants out of him. And Pikachu having enough power to generate electricity for a whole freaking city in this little rat.
Yeah, and, I mean, Blastoise is a naturally occurring creature. How does it get metallic cannons growing out of itself?
There's a lot of questions in Pokemon that have gone unanswered.
Yeah,
so.
those are definitely things you don't want to look at too closely.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting at a deficit choosing Charmander.
Yeah. Like I said, he kind of evens out a little bit more as you go through the battles later on. Like I said, once you get to Erica, the 4th gym leader, that's when he really kind of makes his hay. Although the one thing I was always put off by Charizard, he knows Ember at a very early age as a Charmander. Charmeleon learns no new fire moves at all. It's not until you get to Charizard at level 55 that he learns Flamethrower and then Fire Spin later on. But I'm like, at that point, you're like, oh my God, you've already gotten past most of the gyms and everything. It's like...
I had forgotten about all of that until listening to the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that they didn't learn moves and stuff until way, way later.
Yep.
Because I had forgotten every mechanic of the games. Like, I had forgotten that you needed something with the move Cut to get through forests, or something that can fly you across stuff, or you need the bicycle.
Yep.
I had forgotten all of that. Because not having played a Pokemon game in 25 years.
Try playing the newer ones, too. Like, I'm completely lost. I was just like... I popped in Pokemon Sword the one day. I'm like, what am I doing?
Sword and Shield, isn't that what they introduced the like paired Pokemon in those games, right?
Maybe. I thought I remember, like, you could actually... You talk about fighting with 2 at once.
Yeah.
I think they introduced that back in Ruby and Sapphire, too. They had, like, dual fighting.
Because I know in Pokemon Go, there's the 2 little... maybe they're little mouse characters. They don't evolve. And then you always find them at, like, 1,300 CP.
Oh.
And, like, Plusle and Minun?
Yeah.
Those 2, aren't they from one of those?
I think they are. So... They're just like Pikachu knockoffs.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing. And going back to what you were talking about with Pikachu, like, you know, he wasn't supposed to be the center point icon for the Pokemon like universe. I think the original creator, Satoshi Tajiri, I think he actually had Clefairy pinned as like the main go-to Pokemon, which would be iconic.
The worst Pokemon ever. Aren't those the ones that are always in the hospitals?
They're the ones, yeah. No, that's Chansey. No, Clefairy's the one in Mount Moon going like,
Mount Moon. I forgot about that place too.
Ash and I had this hilarious joke about like, one time we were playing Pokemon Go and driving by, of all places, a trailer park, and Clefairies were every fucking where.
That's fantastic.
So I'm just like, we started doing like, you know, redneck fairy. Fairy.
We got fairy.
Fairy. Fairy, Clefairy. Fairy. You know, fairy.
Well, no fairies.
Fairy. Fable. Fable. So you imagine just a redneckified have like a piece of wheat in his teeth or something.
Yeah, like a fairy flannel with the sleeves torn off.
And half a beer bottle in his hand.
That'd be great.
Fairy.
No fairy around here.
Fairy.
Spit and chew.
Fairy pulls out a thing of dip and...
So in one of the episodes, I remember you referencing how Pikachu was slimmed down over the years.
Oh, yeah.
I want fat Pikachu back.
Right? Like, if you go back and look at the original Pokemon card of Pikachu, he was a chubby little sucker.
Yeah, I want fat Pikachu back. Slim Pikachu can suck it.
Yeah. And in red and blue version, he was kind of chubby too, right?
I think originally he was still a little chunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became...
They slimmed him down.
So iconic.
They gave him Slim Fast back in the day.
They did.
Never looked back. It's a little weight loss program for Pikachu.
Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, going back to like the whole card game and stuff too, I know out of everybody in the neighborhood, I think you had probably the biggest card collection. You definitely got into the card game of Pokemon a lot.
Yeah, I enjoyed collecting those things. And previously you mentioned the energy cards, and there's so freaking
everywhere.
Many of those. You would get a pack of like 10 cards or whatever, and like 7 of them are energies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, infuriating. We had an entire tub full of energy cards because there's so many. Especially if you buy like the starter booster decks. And they would have like, there's a Charmeleon in here. Oh, and there's a turtle or a Squirtle and War Turtle and blah, blah, blah. And they come with about like 10 energy cards.
Yep.
And it's like, oh my God. And they just add up and add up and add up. And you just throw them in a storage tub and just leave them there.
Yep. Yeah, there was so many energy. Like they were so prolific, it was out of control.
Mm-hmm. And then when you actually played the game against people, you could never find a fucking energy. It's like, where is it?
You could have a 500 card deck and 499 of those are energies, and you just can't find one. It's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. God damn it. Where is it?
I remember the things that you guys had talked about with the Lunchables.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had to buy all the weird different off-the-wall Lunchables because there was only certain ones that had certain Pokemon on them.
Mm-hmm.
And there was... I'm gonna stick to it. I'm pretty sure it was the ham and cheese with the crackers that had Geodude.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm
going to look that up, too.
I had so friggin' many Geodudes. Like, all the time. And I'd have to pester my parents to get Lunchables, and they would reject me 90% of the time.
I remember the one time I found one that had, like, Haunter on the back and stuff.
That sounds about right. There was a Ponyta for sure.
Oh, my God. I think there's one right there. Bulbasaur, Pidgeotto, Pikachu. That looks like it, doesn't it?
It very well could be, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm posting on TikTok about them.
The pizza ones, when those first came out, those had some different set on them, and they were...
Yep. I think that's it. Wow, they never had Articuno. But they had Zapdos and Moltres, huh?
Yeah.
That's wild.
That other picture had Articuno in it.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it did. So I wonder if they actually did have all 150 just like spaced out on the different ones.
That would be impressive. I only ever saw maybe a dozen different.
Yeah. There's the pizza.
God, those things were so fucking gross.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you just had to, well, I want the pizza. You want this pizza? No, not really. I just want the thing on the back. Can you pay $6 for the little card on the back, please?
I call it a glorified cracker.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, it's just a cracker. You basically slap some tomato sauce on there, a few little
the stale
shreds of mozzarella cheese, and yep,
couple cold pepperonis.
Slap it on there. It's a pizza.
Yeah, it is. Ugh. Those were not great.
And they wonder why our generation's like obsessed with charcuterie boards. Started young.
That's because a bunch of our parents were cheap bastards and wouldn't buy us Lunchables, and now we try to feel fancy and make charcuterie boards.
Yes.
Good.
Now, did you get into the Pokemon TV series at all? With Ash, Misty, and Brock and all that stuff?
I watched it at your place.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember why. I feel like we couldn't get it at our place.
Really?
Yeah.
It was on like Local 43 or something like that,
Yeah.
I think, in the morning.
Yeah, we never watched it there. I always came over to your place and watched it because it was much more enjoyable.
Oh, yeah. I used to have the old VHS tapes.
Yeah, I remember you had full seasons of it.
Yeah. I had quite a few because I never had like the entirety of the Kanto, like the first season or something like that, but like I had some pretty key episodes. Like I think where Ash got Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and a bunch of the other, like Sisters of Cerulean City was another one too, where he got the Cascade badge.
Yeah. I remember there was the episode where he just kept Ash kept pestering Pikachu to evolve.
Right.
And like right when he's about to do it, he broke him down, and then he doesn't do it, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
That was the Raichu episode where he like smacks out his hand and he's like, Pikachu, Pika.
That was when he fought Lieutenant, was it that the same episode?
Yeah, Lieutenant Surge.
All
right, baby. He was just like such bravado.
And
like,
his Pikachu or his Raichu was such a piece of garbage.
He was. He took after Surge, so he's just like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Waving his finger around in their face.
Yeah, he was so full of himself.
Freaking bastard.
Clearly, they've never seen an anime where the over-the-top bad guy never wins.
Right. Unbelievable. Yeah, just that. All the voice acting in Pokemon was so good. They did recycle a lot of voices, though. Like I mentioned, Bill the Lighthouse. He's the same voice as Damien.
I don't remember either of them.
Yeah, basically it's the same type of like British accent guy.
Generic accent.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look up what the guy's name was. It was hilarious.
I never understood in that show how there was clones of everybody everywhere. All the cops were the same person. All the nurses were the same person.
Officer Jenny and Nurse Joyce. Yeah, they were all like clones of each other. It's like, what the?
And for some reason, there was like never civilian.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was never civilian females, and there was never authority-based males.
Mm-hmm.
There was Ash's mom, but I feel like she's the only civilian female in that entire show.
You bring up a good point. Yeah, it's just all like a massive matriarchy.
Clone army.
Yeah. Yeah, all the Nurse Joys. Although in Orange Island, there's one Nurse Joy that she's like got a tan on because she's down the island. She's basically like paddling back and forth on a canoe or a kayak. It's crazy. But yeah, there's no like, was there any guy police officers? Maybe in like the earlier episodes, maybe?
Some part of me wants to say that somewhere in one of the episodes, they go somewhere and they're expecting like a Nurse Joy or an Officer Jenny, and it's not. And Brock is kind of mind blown because he's always super horny for them. Because it's Brock's character.
That dynamic was weird too because Brock's only supposed to be 12 years old and he's just like fangirling over all these ladies. And
that dude looks 30.
Yeah, right? They're all supposed to look older. And then he always has like, he has rice cakes with him. And they call them, like in the American dub, jelly donuts. I'm like, this does not look like a jelly donut at all.
I'm lied to.
Yeah, they're deceiving us. Those fucking bastards. Lying to children. That's a great moral message. Screw everything good I said about Pokemon.
Yep. So look what you've done.
God damn it.
There was a lot of morally upright things in that show, though.
Yeah, Pokemon, honestly, one of the more positive ones you could ever go with.
Yeah.
And I guess they really toned back a lot of the violence because they really couldn't show guns all that much in Pokemon. Like the original one.
The original ones they did. Because
like
Team Rocket would show up with guns all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then perpetually get defeated.
It makes me wonder if Funimation would have done the dub instead of Viz, how different Pokemon would have been. Because Viz Media, I think they had a lot of different like dub contracts. Like they ended up having to redub. Funimation did anyway. One Piece.
Really?
You heard the pirate anime? Yeah, originally Viz did it, and they censored so much stuff.
Really?
Like this one guy was like smoking a cigarette. They got the pictures online. Where in the Viz dub, he's got like a lollipop. So he's like chewing on a lollipop and not a cigarette. The Funimation dub, they're like, nope, screw it. So they actually gave him a cigarette and everything.
Yeah.
So
pirate with a lollipop sounds way too toned down.
I wonder how different it would have been. But there was a falling out period in 2006 where a lot of the old voice actors got kind of like let out to dry, I guess.
Really?
So and they brought in like a whole new voice crew. I don't know if there was like a corporate switch up going on at the time, but yeah.
Huh.
There was a lot of the old voice actors ended up leaving, like Veronica Taylor, the voice of Ash.
Okay.
Ash and I met. Super sweet, too, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. But it was weird just like sitting there and all of a sudden you hear Ash Ketchum's voice like, "Hi, trainers." Like, whoa.
Where is that?
Oh, my God.
There she is.
And you wonder why. Oh, that's why the line's literally like all the way down the block and around the building just to meet her.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Super sweet, but yeah, oh my God. She was, mind blown at the fact that, like, that I remember the Erica episode. The one where Ash was, like, all testing. He's just like, I don't want your stinky perfume. You got his ass kicked out of there. So he has to put on a wig and act as Ash Lee to get back in.
I cannot remember that one.
Yeah.
So much of my Pokemon memory.
Mm-hmm. I remember all the stuff from the past. So
I feel like there was the Tamagotchis. Do you remember those things?
yes.
Part of my brain tells me there was a Pokemon type of Tamagotchi.
Oh, there had to have been. Well, I think there was a Pikachu one that came with Pokemon Yellow, I thought, as well.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. Did you ever have that one?
Maybe.
Look that up.
Because I had Tamagotchis and they died in like 4 hours and then constantly had to reset it. Those were traumatizing.
That one? It looked like the Game Boy.
Maybe.
And I think they actually sold a special yellow version, I think, that had this one with it.
That if I didn't have it, it at least looks very familiar.
Yeah. Pokemon Pikachu Tamagotchi.
Yep.
Yeah. I could have sworn we had like a Digimon like little pedometer thing.
Yeah.
Like Generation 1, and we walk around the neighborhood with those things.
Yeah, I remember those.
Those always fucking die.
Yeah. Fucking pedometers.
Mm-hmm. Digimon. Now, I got into Digimon in like the first season a little bit. I thought it was interesting, but nowhere near as much as Pokemon. Pokemon was a whole different level.
Yeah, Pokemon had definitely sapped all of my words are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was heavily invested in it anyway.
But yeah, going back to all that stuff. Oh my gosh. Now, do we ever trade through the old link cable system?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Mind-blowing.
Yep, back then it's like, oh my God, we can interact with each other's games. It's crazy.
Because you had I swear the cable was clear and you could see all the individual multicolor underneath of it.
Correct. Yeah, it had like, it was a translucent casing that was like, back in the 90s, it was all about neon.
And translucent.
But, yeah, translucent neon. So we actually had like a link cable I bought from Big Lots of all places.
Huh.
And I still got it upstairs. It'll connect to the old Game Boys and the Game Boy Colors that we see right here.
Where'd you connect that at?
Over on that side.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there's like a little thing. Yeah. Game Boy Color connectors are smaller than the original Game Boy. The original Game Boy is like twice the size.
Huh.
So, but you'll see that on the little system link thing from back in the day.
I forgot you could plug these into DC power.
Oh, yeah. That and headphones and all kinds of stuff.
Get the little light that clamps on here.
Squiggle light.
Yeah. You remember what this thing was?
Yes, that thing. It was like more gimmicky than anything, but in Pokemon Gold and Silver, you could do this thing called a mystery gift. And before you start up your game, you could basically...
You touch them together, right?
Exactly, yeah. You take both Game Boys, touch those things together,
yeah.
And it would sync up, and all of a sudden you get this thing called a mystery gift. You go into your game, and you'd open it up, and it was like some special present. Could be like a stone, could be a berry, could be whatever. But I think you get like, I don't know if it was like one a day or something like that.
Oh, I guess it says calm on top of the Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot that was up there. I haven't seen a Game Boy Color in probably 20 years.
They still go for a pretty good price, too.
I have no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Still on the hunt to get a blue one, though.
Yeah.
So it'll come. Just wait.
You say you had the blue one?
I had the blue one. Yeah. Blue one and green one. So we got the green one. That's actually Ashley's green one now.
Yeah. The green one was very prevalent.
Yeah, it was. You had the green one, too, right?
Yeah.
So
I had one before. Maybe it was another green one or a red one.
Mm.
It met an unfortunate fate.
Oh, no.
Dead.
Yep.
Killed it dead.
As what happens to a lot of old game consoles, like the 360s. Like we said, you kind of took, my old Elite out back and kind of shot it with a shotgun?
Yeah, you're like, here, it died. Go do something with it.
Yeah.
All right.
End it.
Yep. It got shot.
Yep.
Old
Smoky.
Yeah. I can leave the 360 bit to another episode. I had a fun experience with those.
Oh, yeah.
As did everybody.
We'll talk about that in a retro pod.
Yeah.
So, good old Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon Yellow. Even Fat Pikachu is sort of on the front of Pokemon Yellow. Special Pikachu edition.
Like I said, that was kind of before the transition to like the more modern look of Pokemon, because the 90s Pokemon did have a whole different aesthetic.
Yeah, they were, I mean, you see like the individual pictures and stuff and just like the thumbnails and stuff. They're all like...
The sprites.
Yeah, like hand... I don't know, it looked more like pencil instead of...
They were hand-drawn by this one artist. Oh, you did an amazing job with that, too, by the way. It looks awesome.
All the new stuff, it definitely comes off more like computer-ish.
Yep.
Everything's cleaner.
More polished, exactly. But the other stuff, it just felt like more, like I said, it was the original.
Yeah.
So, very unique feeling to it.
Yeah. Anybody that listens to this, there's only 151 Pokemon that count. Everything else does not count.
Well, that was the other thing, too. Talk about Mew. Mew wasn't even supposed to be in the game. Nintendo had no idea. But the creator's like, I'm just going to slide him right in here.
Little secret present. The extra 151. Because everybody's like, oh, yeah, there's 150 of them. And then they slip the Mew in. And you're like, there's 151. It was mind-blowing.
It was. Everybody's looking for Mew. But, yeah, there's a special little glitch you could do where you can get Mew in your game at, like, level 7.
Yeah.
That or a Game Shark. Because you introduced me to Game Sharks. Yeah. And that was mind-blowing to me. I'm like, whoa. You punch in codes and, like, you can get any Pokemon you want. I'm like, whoa.
I remember the Game Shark. I feel like it was kind of a pain to use, but I remember it being the most fantastic way
such
to
a
do
cheat.
anything.
So good.
Yeah, it was so good.
I'm just like, God damn. All right, I need a Charizard because I only play with a Squirtle.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Caught a Charmander and Charmeleon. Nice.
Yep.
So, I don't know what happened to my old Game Shark because I used to have one for the Game Boy ages ago.
I don't know what happened to any of that shit.
Just gone.
Yeah. It's
probably got destroyed over the course of time.
Yeah, I haven't got any earthly idea.
Yeah, because that was a nice... I actually bought... It was an exclusive Pokemon Game Shark.
Really?
I used to have. Yeah, it was awesome.
Huh.
But that's just gone now.
I think we... Video Safari reference here. I have another one for another episode. I'm pretty sure we rented a Game Shark.
Really?
From Video Safari.
They had Game Sharks for rent?
That's wild. They had Game Genies for rent.
No way.
Yeah, that's my other reference.
That one I remember when you played Sega Genesis. I remember seeing that hilarious Game Genie, like the logo. It's got the genie on it. I'm like, what the? Yeah. And you could stack. That was Sonic 3.
Knuckles.
Yeah, Sonic Knuckles and then Sonic 3 on top. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a 3-cartridge stack. It's this absurd freaking tower.
That's just nuts.
Yeah. I still love it though. Yeah, I feel like we rented one there. Don't quote me on that, but I swear that happened the first time and then we bought one.
Dang.
Because I don't remember what me and my brother had on Game Boys that we would feel the need to cheat so much that we bought one of those. Yep. But it definitely happened with Pokemon and maybe like Mortal Kombat.
Well, if you only had Pokemon Yellow, there were certain Pokemon you couldn't get. Because like Pokemon Blue in particular, you could only get Vulpix and Meowth especially were like only Blue version exclusive. And Pinsir in the Safari Zone, you could only get in Blue version.
Really?
In Red version, you could get Scyther in the Safari Zone.
Oh, yeah. That does sound familiar. Yeah.
And then you could get, I think, Bellsprout in Blue version, Oddish in Red version. There was always like a balance between the games.
Just their way to get you to buy the other games.
So where there was, where there was Vulpix in Blue version, I think you could get Growlithe in Red version. I think might have been the trade-off too.
Huh.
So
that's kind of neat.
But there were certain ones, and then Yellow version was a mishmash of both. But I know you still couldn't get Meowth in Yellow version, so maybe that's a reason you ended up getting Game Shark. So you could like cheese a Meowth in the game.
I honestly cannot remember that, or I feel like there was ways you could just get around all the loopholes. Like, oh, I can teach the Scyther to fly
right
at level 1.
Well, I think in Yellow version, couldn't you teach Pikachu to surf? Or no, that was one of the bonus things if you beat Pokemon Stadium. I think because like you could hook up your Game Boy game, play your Pokemon through that, and if you beat Pokemon Stadium and certain things, you get certain prizes. One would be, I think it would teach your Pikachu surf, or you get a Pikachu that knows surf.
Huh.
It's wild. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that would definitely help a lot. Yeah, so, I had forgotten all about those little bits of red tape in that game. Like you can only go certain places when things could do certain moves.
Charizard can't fly. Actually, I think he can in Yellow version. You could teach him fly. But in Red and Blue, he couldn't.
Could Scyther fly? Or could he only cut?
That's a good question.
Which I know you had to teach him cut, but I don't understand. His arms are fucking blades.
Yeah, right? Can he just cut himself?
Right, I don't understand. Just fall over. You'll cut the damn grass down.
Right. Just pick up Scyther and just...
Yeah, swing the Scyther. Yeah, and if he can't fly, he has giant wings on his back.
Right.
Stupid fucking Pokemon.
Now, okay, did you ever have an N64 back in the day?
I did not.
And you ended up coming to our house to kind of play stuff and everything?
Yeah. I remember you playing things on the N64. Is that what Pokemon Snap was on?
Pokemon Snap was on the N64. That was a good one.
I remember that one.
Yeah. So we played that. Mark Conti had that way before I did. So I ended up going over to Mark's house and playing that a lot.
Yeah, I can remember you having that and Pokemon Stadium.
Yep. Like I said, Mark had those things first before I did. I ended up getting Pokemon Stadium 2, which runs, I think, all the different like original games from Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal. Played all those games like through the Game Boy cartridge.
Yeah.
So definitely worth it.
Okay. Yeah, I had...
Remember the goofy-ass mini games?
No.
No, never played those? No. Dang.
I don't remember playing. I played a little bit of Pokemon Snap, and that was it. Yep. I remember you playing vaguely Stadium.
Pokemon Snap and Stadium, they were awesome. Remember Pokemon Puzzle League? No. That was another one, too.
I don't remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Mark had that one. He had a lot of the old games.
Huh. Yeah, I remember Pokemon Snap was pretty cool because it had, like you said, you could take the cartridge out or the memory card or whatever and get the pictures printed off.
Oh, yeah.
Why do I'm looking at this.
The Pokedex?
The Pokedex, and I feel like there was something more. I'm misremembering so much, but I feel like there was more to it or that there was one that did something, but this is the only one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tiger had a weird contract with Pokemon, so they came with a whole bunch of, little Tiger. Like, there was a Pokeball game that you could play and stuff, too.
Huh.
So they had that back in the day. And then I remember, must have been from, like, my 8th or 9th birthday party over in Homeworth Pavilion. They ended up, somebody got me a Pokemon Master Trainer Pog game. Do you remember that?
I remember there was Pogs.
Yeah, it was like this black box game, and yeah, there's just a whole bunch of Pogs that came with it.
Huh.
It was really wild. And like, I don't think we ever played the game like legitly ever, but I remember over the course of time, that box just like blew up and the Pogs ended up all over the house.
Whoever invented Pogs was a damn genius. So let's make 50-cent piece sized cardboard coins.
Pokemon Master Trainer looked like that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's way back in the day. So the board looked like this. Whole bunch of Pogs on it.
That almost does look familiar.
Mm-hmm. So way back when.
I would say so.
There it is. All the little character pieces look like a bunch of like Ash Ketchums.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was like way back in the day.
God, when was that?
That's what I mean. It had to have been back when we were like, what, 9 or 10, probably. Because I remember, like, in the anime came out, it's like 10-year-olds can get a beginner license.
That had to be, so late 90s anyway.
Yep, it was 98, 99 probably.
Man, and I can't remember yesterday, so 20-some-odd years
Help
ago.
you remember all the way back then. Gosh, how different of a world.
Right?
Before everything. Before Lord of the Rings, even, if you think about it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, that was the next thing to catch my attention.
Mm.
One thing I also had forgotten in the shows was that the Pokeballs shrank.
Yeah.
They were always like the size of a golf ball, and then they turned into the size of a cantaloupe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that always kind of like, it was impressive to me because, like, yeah, like Ash had a whole bunch of like really small ones. He hit the middle button, it would turn big. I'm like, what the?
And where did he keep all those?
I don't know.
He carried like 500 of those things.
It probably runs by the same type of logic as Bulma with Capsule Corp.
Yeah.
Because like there's little capsules, she hits the button and boom, there's like an entire house. And it's like, what the?
I just talked about that her dad always had the cat.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with the guy at the exchange about that, about the cat. Just we couldn't figure out what show that was from, that the guy always had a cat on his shoulder. And he's like,
Dr. Brief.
I was like, it's the guy from Dragon Ball. It's the capsule guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Brief. And the doctor in Pokemon, obviously, Professor Oak.
Oh, yeah.
So, he was always a classic.
Yeah.
Hello there.
The second season had a different professor, or was it still Oak?
Professor Elm, I think you end up bumping into. Professor Elm, it's always like, tree names, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
And the third season is Dr. Birch, who looks very similar, like, in stature and scale to me, which is hilarious.
Okay.
But he's got the voice of, like, Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh!, which throw me off. I'm just like, what the heck? So
Your voice doesn't match your body, sir.
Exactly. So, I know, I thought it was very fitting, but I'm just like, oh, hey, it kind of reminds me of, Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Like, huh.
But I can't remember anything much past the Kanto was the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
Kanto, then Orange Island, which they never made games of. I wish they would have.
Nothing. I remember you had Did you have VHSs of that?
Yes, I got DVDs of Orange Island upstairs.
Okay. I remember.
So.
I remember watching those when we were kids. Because it was, oh hey, all this stuff is different. And then
they like sampled a little bit of like Johto Pokemon in that one. I'm just like, oh hey, there's a Meryl, for instance, because Tracy came aboard. He basically took the place of Brock, which I don't know why.
Yeah. Well.
So, but he came on there and he's like, oh, it's a Pikachu, basically a blue Pikachu, and everybody's like, oh my god, no, it's Meryl.
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo. This is the infamous rumor back then.
What a terrible rumor.
It's like worst kept secret in Pokemon.
I remember like when I was still getting cards, buying a pack of cards that looked like the regular cards. I feel like the packaging was still the same, and I opened them up, and there was a bunch of Series 2 in there.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Because I opened it up, like, what the fuck is a Natu?
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like it ruined the card, too, because I'm just like, this big-ass 2 and a Pokeball, and I'm like, this is just so second-rate, literally. Yeah. It's just like, this is not as good as the original, is what it said. I'm like, this is garbage.
Then they repacked them, and I got a bunch of, like, Japanese ones. I'm like, okay, it's neat that there's new ones, but I had such a hard time getting invested in them that I just, like, they honestly, like, I kept the Series 1s to one side and the Series 2 I went to the side. I just didn't care.
Yep. That's I kind of felt the same way because I'm just like, these things are so just half-baked compared to the original. And then did you ever have first edition cards?
I cannot remember.
Yeah. I think I might have had a Machamp, which everybody had a freaking holographic first edition Machamp. Yeah. Everybody's like, it's so rare. It's like, no, it's like the most general first edition ever.
Yeah, but I had quite a few holographics, and I did have a holographic Machamp, but like you said, everybody seemed to.
Did you have the holographic Charizard?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Everybody had it but me. I'm like, God damn it.
I bought that one separately.
Did you?
I didn't earn it.
See, that's where Ashley and James said they opened up packs and they found the damn thing. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I want to say I opened a pack and got a Blastoise, and I got the...
I remember doing that, too. I think I got a Blastoise and a Venusaur from a pack, but never a Charizard.
Yeah, the Charizard and the Venusaur I bought separately from the card store on State Street in Alliance that's right next to the Kung Fu place. I can't remember what that place was called.
Was it CJ's Cards?
CJ's.
Yeah.
I wanted to say JT, but it's CJ's, yeah.
I remember that from way back when.
Yeah.
I remember going to First Choice and getting a Mew card, and Dad, like, flipping shit at me about that.
Where was First Choice at?
First Choice is across the street from the hospital. Like where the new hospital is now. Actually, like across the street from Napa Auto Parts and then the hospital.
Okay.
Over at that one intersection. Over in Alliance.
The house?
Yeah, it's a house.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of with CJ's.
Yeah, that's First Choice.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking of. Where was CJ's at?
CJ's in the mall, I thought.
Okay.
Because I went there for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament and got absolutely spanked.
Oh, that's what CJ's was in the mall. Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it was the house I was thinking of. First Choice.
Yeah, First Choice. I went there. I spent like $20 on a Mew card, and Dad's like, I can't believe I spent $20 freaking dollars on a stupid Pokemon card.
Yeah, my parents hated that shit too.
Yeah.
But
the ironic thing, it's just like, my dad collected baseball cards and everything too, and it's just like, how's this any different?
Right.
So, Pokemon card, like the original ones, still go for a pretty, pretty good price.
I made some decent money. I had the one guy at work sell some for me.
Really?
Yeah, I made a few $100s.
I was gonna ask, do you still have your card collection from back in the day?
Nope, I gave him to the one guy I worked with because he actually adopted 2 boys, and they were really into Pokemon. I'm like, you know what?
There you go.
This crate is just sitting here. Take them, split them up with those guys. They'll enjoy them.
Yeah, well done, man. It's a hero.
Thank you.
So, good job out of you.
It's my good deed for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So, well done.
In hindsight, I'm like, shit, I should have taken more of those out and sold them, but...
That makes you the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
So good!
God, that soundbite.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, First Choice. Oh my gosh. But I'm trying to remember what happened to my old cards. I think, honestly, because I had younger brothers, I think I kind of passed them on to Ryan. And Ryan proceeded to like trade them out to people, I thought, too. So over the course of time, they just dwindled down to nothing. And then I think Mom just gave me a heap of old cards that were all like glued together with like this weird brown crusty crap. And I'm like, yeah, these are the originals, but they're like half like mutilated and half gunked out. I'm like, I'm not keeping these. They might have some sentimental value, but they're just trashed at this point. So I pitched them.
They probably got caught up in that ketchup and mustard fight.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All the gunk. Like, honestly, our house was like a pigsty back then growing up because, like, anything we tried to take care of, like, my brothers like Tasmanian devils. It would just, like, wreck everything. And yeah, it'd just be like our closet downstairs, the one with those spiders all the time.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was spiders in that closet, and there was just a whole heap of like our old like collector's items from back when we were like kids in the 90s.
Down in your parents' room?
Yeah, no, downstairs in the rec room.
Oh, in the back corner.
Yeah, the back corner closet. That thing was just full of spiders and full of all kinds of like old nostalgic things, like laser tag fight guns and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, that became a catch-all for sure, but it was spidery.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that.
Yeah, out in the country, we definitely got a little wolf spiders, so gotta watch your toes when you're like walking out of the bathroom at night.
The spiders, man.
Oh,
spiders.
Scary. I don't think they ever bit us though.
No,
so they were friendly spiders.
Pokemon, catch them.
Mm-hmm. You just gotta throw like a little play ball at them.
I'm gonna say throw a softball at them.
Yep. Gotta catch them all.
Gotta splatter them all.
Pokemon. Speaking of that, we were talking about this earlier this morning too. Is South Park's parody of Chin Pokemon?
Yeah, I remember seeing it,
and
I remember it being a thing, but I cannot, for the life of me, remember anything that happened.
Got to buy it. Got to buy it. Pokemon.
I do remember it being like subliminal messaging to get the kids to do.
Yeah, to go bomb Pearl Harbor. Super China #1. So freaking good.
The writers were so good.
Oh, they were. Kenny's having a seizure. This game's awesome. Because there was a rumor that, like, apparently the flashing lights in the anime triggered epilepsy, I think, in some kids.
That rumor abounded so much about everything in what I feel in the 90s. I feel like every show, it's like, oh, this one's supposed to give people seizures. Oh, this gave people seizures. I'm like, really? This seems more prolific than Quicksand.
I remember the urban legend that, like, the Lavender Town, like, original song, like, drove kids to suicide or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And I'm just like, that was definitely an urban legend. I'm like, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
You ever hear about the Blue or Gary's Dead Raticate theory? Supposedly, when you're playing the game and your rival, whatever you want to name him as, but in the video game series or the anime series, his name's Gary. When you go face him over on the SSN, he has Eradicate, and you proceed to beat all of his Pokemon in order to go up to the captain to get the HMO1 to get cut. The next time you see and battle your rival, Gary, he's over in the Lavender Town, like, Pokemon Cemetery Tower. And if you notice his lineup, he no longer has Eradicate.
Huh.
So there has been some wild, like, speculation that, like, you basically murdered his Eradicate on the SSN.
Yeah, I always, in the younger days, I always assumed that you just beat the bejesus out of the Pokemons and like you put him into a coma and they had to take him to the Pokemon hospitals to fix him, or else they were going to die.
Which, if you think about it, it's like a very violent game if you think about it, like beating your freaking pets to death.
Yeah, let's fight animals. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But then nowadays they just say they fainted.
Right.
Yeah, they won't say they're dead or knocked out. Or
do you notice too? Like, I think originally when all your Pokemon fainted, it would say you blacked out. Now, if you play the modern Pokemon game, it says you whited out.
Huh.
Yeah, that's a new switch up they had in the more recent ones. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I always thought it was interesting too. After you beat like anybody's ass in a Pokemon battle, they give you cash.
Huh.
Like, have you ever had that before? Where like you beat somebody up and like, here's money.
Here's money. Don't kill me.
Yeah, right. I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Also, why in the games when your 20 Pokemon got knocked out, do you black out?
I don't know. Makes no sense. I'm like, what the?
It's like, I'm not fighting.
It's a convenient way to just go back to a Pokemon Center and just everybody's all healed up and you're ready to go again.
Right. Yeah, just they can't just say you went back to the Pokemon Center.
Like, if you end up losing your entire party to a Team Rocket member, it's like, do they literally just like chain you up and like throw you in the back of a van or some shit?
Yeah, it's like, also, what was Team Rocket trying to do?
I don't know. The fact that they were just so outspokenly evil, like, we are just an evil corporation.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? There's something respectable about you guys being so forthright about this and forthcoming. Yeah. Just like, you know what? Yeah, they're evil. All right.
I can respect
We know where we stand with you then.
We don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Are you just trying to enslave all the Pokemon?
It was just so, okay, if you play Pokemon Gold and Silver too, they actually take over the radio tower and they're just like, yes, we're an evil corporation and this is what we're doing. It's just they're broadcasting out on a mass platform to everybody that, yes, we're bad. Like,
I had Gold and Silver, but I don't remember anything in those.
Really?
Because they had newer Pokemon in them, right?
There were the Johto Pokemon. So they were all over. It was wild too. Once you've got all 8 badges in Johto, it allowed you to go back to the Kanto region and replay all those so you can get 16 badges.
Huh.
So it was a long drudge of a game, but it was honestly worth it.
I think that might be one of the ones I game sharked.
Mm-hmm.
I might have game sharked silver.
Yes, I know for sure I did too, because you couldn't get a lot of Kanto Pokemon like the starters. You'd have to trade for those unless you have like 2 Game Boys and everything, which I don't think anybody really had 2 Game Boys on hand back then.
Getting one was hard enough.
Mm-hmm. So being able to trade between all the different Game Boys, because once you had gold and silver, not only did you have to get the new 100 Pokemon, including the rare Celebi, which I guess wasn't available in any of the games.
Huh.
Total like botching job.
Wow.
Because, going down that rabbit hole with Celebi, segueing here, Celebi was supposed to be the second generation's Mew.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be some secret thing, and he was supposed to be in Crystal version. In the Japanese version, you end up going into this forest, and you have the GS ball. You place the GS ball inside of this like little birdhouse-looking thing, and Celebi flies down, and you basically have a chance to capture him.
Huh.
But he was not ported into the North American or English releases.
Really?
For some stupid reason. I don't know. So the Japanese version, you can catch a Celebi in-game.
Yeah.
But in Crystal version for North American and English releases, you can't.
Huh.
So the only way to get Celebi is through Game Shark.
Really?
I'm like, that is such just like a dick move. I don't know why they did that.
I think I remember game sharking unlimited Master Balls.
Yes, you could do that too.
Yeah.
That and rare candies were kind of hard to come by in the game.
And because having one Master Ball was such a crock of shit. Mm-hmm. It was so infuriating.
Yeah, you basically use it up and it's just gone.
Yeah.
Do you ever use the missing no code from Pokemon Red and Blue? Because I don't think you ever had those two, did you?
I had red.
Pokemon Red and Blue version, you could do a thing where you talk to this one old guy about how to catch a Pokemon over in Viridian City. Mm-hmm. As long as you have Surf and Fly, you're good. So after you're done talking to him, just say, no, I don't know how to catch a Pokemon. He'll teach you how to catch it. And he'll try and catch a Weedle and he'll bust out every time. And then you immediately, after you're done with that, pull up your menu, fly down to Cinnabar Island, go immediately right, and go up and down the coast while you're surfing. And eventually you'll bump into this weird thing called Missing No. And whatever item you have in your 6th inventory slot will get multiplied by like 140 or something like that. So if you have Master Ball in your 6-item slot or Rare Candy, and you bump into Missing Dough, either beat it or run away from it, it'll automatically do that code and give you like a huge boost number.
That sounds hilariously familiar. I think I remember you telling me about that.
Missing No code, it busted blue and red version.
I remember trying to Game Shark getting extra Pokemon, like ones that weren't supposed to be in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the only thing I ended up getting was a fucking Aerodactyl. Because I think you could get the fossil Pokemon without having to do the fossil.
Correct. You go up to Pewter City and go ask the museum guy. He'll give you an old amber. You take it down to Cinnabar Island. This guy's just like, I can rehabilitate Pokemon from fossils. Give me a fossil. I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
So you get one fossil of your choice, Helix Fossil or Dome Fossil in Mount Moon. Mm-hmm. And like you give him that fossil and he'll basically resurrect that Pokemon. It's either a Kabuto or an Ammonite.
Yeah.
And then Aerodactyl you can get in any game. So that's the one that's over in the museum in Pewter City. The museum curator will give it to you. You give it to the guy over in Cinnabar Island. And after like a couple battles or something like that, you come back and he's like, here's an Aerodactyl. So
here's this.
Yeah. Here's this ancient Pokemon. It's probably worth millions on the black market, but here you go, kid, for free.
We don't know what to feed it, but here you go.
That's the one thing, too. It's like, oh my gosh, like no medical cost for Pokemon centers at all.
Yeah. What
like you could get like freaking, I don't know. I always thought plant Pokemon would be easily just like burned up.
Yeah.
You think like one Fire Blast from a Charizard and like your Pokemon would just be gone.
There's also shouldn't be any people.
Right.
It's like there's no way that Scyther doesn't eat people.
Yep.
It's got a huge beak.
Well, had this actually be like real life Pokemon, how badly would people be exploiting Pokemon for like, material gain in so many ways? Like Meowth. Yeah. You wouldn't tell me you wouldn't have like a giant like barn of Meowths trying to do payday all the fucking time to generate money.
Or
it's like oh my god.
An army of Beedrill.
Yeah.
Like you have 10,000 Beedrills, you send them anywhere, and there's not going to be any survivors.
Right.
It's a giant fucking
also make a bunch of meat out of it too. Yeah. So double win. Nobody's messing with a Beedrill army.
Or like fighting a Tyranitar and a Charizard, just some absurd shit like that, like underground fighting, except to be Godzilla. But
right, they kind of alluded to that. I think in that what was it, Detective Pikachu movie, where there was like an underground like brawl scene or something.
I didn't see that. I heard it's pretty good though.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
So and then what's his name? I think is the voice of Pikachu.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, his pretty good job.
I think it's on Netflix now. I'd
definitely give it a check out.
I might have to watch that one.
Netflix did have like a remake of Pokemon the first movie.
Really?
Which I haven't seen. It's like done in a very different type of like computer animation style. Huh. So I don't know, it's kind of just like a one-off.
I remember seeing that one in theaters.
Did I go with you to go see that one?
I think I went with you.
Yeah, that sounds right. We never got cards though, I think, when we went, right? Because it was a couple like weeks in.
Was that the Mew card?
No, I never got the Mew card for that one, which we found out later on. Nobody got the Mew card for that movie. I think it was like you got a Delivery Dragonite or a couple other different ones.
Can't remember what. I don't remember if we got anything. What was the Ancient Mew card from?
Ancient Mew card, I think, was either from Pokemon the movie 2000, which I think is really where it's from, or Pokemon the third movie. But I think it was Pokemon movie 2000.
Because I had 2 of those.
Because that was about the collector, and he started his whole like massive floating like hilarious fortress collection because of his freaking like Ancient Mew card.
Yeah. What was the Entei from?
Entei is Pokemon the third movie.
Okay.
That was that in the Unknown.
I had a couple of those too. And the Unknown, yeah, the Unknown card too.
Mm-hmm. That was the one with that little girl that basically, the Unknown basically get bonded to her and like all of her dreams become reality or something. And she has like major mom issues because she lost her mom.
I cannot remember those.
So Entei ended up taking over as her papa or something.
Huh.
And it was like her personal guardian.
I just remember it had to be the first one where the guy cloned all the Pokemon, right?
Yep.
And they were all defective.
Mm-hmm.
Which somehow like all his clones were just shadow Pokemon of the other ones, but the Mew and Mewtwo was way different.
Mm-hmm. If you go back and watch, like, there's actually an edit before the movie even started that showed Mewtwo as like a young child growing up with a Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and like this one girl, and it was actually Dr. Fuji's daughter. And they're basically experimenting with clone technology, and then slowly you'd see them all playing together, kind of like in this weird, like, floating consciousness, and all of a sudden they would just start disappearing. Meaning, like, the clones would die in the tanks, and Mewtwo was the only one left. Even the little girl died. I'm like, this would have, like, absolutely wrecked me as a kid. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was bad enough seeing Ash almost die.
Right? Yeah, it turned to stone.
And then everybody just starts crying, and then somehow that saves him.
Right. Yeah, it was traumatizing enough, but man, that would have really...
Where did Mewtwo come from in that movie? Or did that guy have him the whole time?
He was basically genetically modified from Mew. So it was like a little Mew tail fossil they found, and they cloned him and added like a whole bunch of extra stuff because Giovanni, I think, funded the project. Oh. And that's why he ends up swooping in after, like, Dr. Fuji's like, we dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon, and we succeeded.
Yes. There it is. Yeah, because I remember he didn't speak in that movie. He just telepathically communicated to everybody.
Yep.
And he was...
Behold my power.
Yeah, he just was sort of mellow, chill about going to kill everybody.
And Mewtwo ended up becoming my favorite after the first movie. What was your original favorite Pokemon? I wanted to ask you, too. Out of the original 150.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's the one I've been trying to ask everybody, too.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. Out of all the original 150. Even go through like the phases too, because like I said, my original one was Onix, then Ghastly, and then Mewtwo.
I mean, growing up where we did, I was a big fan of turtles, so Squirtle was a good one. Bulbasaur's a little toad guy.
What about Coughing?
Dude, Coughing was hilarious.
Yes,
good one. Yep.
Yeah, I thought Coughing was like your go-to.
Only because every time, because of that shit. Every time he showed up in an episode, James was like, Coughing, go. And he'd throw his ball out into the field, and for some reason, Coughing never came out of the ball. He'd come from off screen and tackle the fuck out of James.
Coughing!
And he would just knock James to the ground every fucking time.
He had that dirt face on the entire time.
Yeah.
In the games, too, it was weird because he was upside down. Like, his little logo is above his head.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, what the hell? But in the anime, he's just like, Coughing.
Yeah, he was so stupid, and it made me laugh every single time he came on screen. So
it was such a derp.
Yeah. Good call there. I'll stick to that one.
Yep. Good old Coughing.
Yeah, because James had him, and Jesse had Ekans, and Ekans was useless also.
Right. And the hilarious evolved form of Coughing was Wheezy.
Who also did fucking nothing.
Right. They could just basically create gas.
Don't they ditch those two, right? And then get new ones?
They did. There was like some weird episode where like they bumped into a whole bunch of like random Ekans and Coughing out in the forest that needed someone to lead them. So they're just like, well, I guess it's goodbye then. Go lead them. They need you to guide them. So it was like some weird like reminiscing episode, kind of like how Ash let go of Pidgeotto to evolve into Pidgeot, same type of thing.
Yeah. These
Pidgey and Pidgeotto out in the forest like needed like some big, entity to like protect them.
Yeah.
So Ash gives up his Pidgeot, just evolved him. I'm just like, why? It's your most loyal Pokemon, you piece of shit. But it's always a series. I honestly think that's a good moral lesson, too, of letting things go. Because a lot of people just, like, have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
But Ash, like, I think he's a bit too letting go with Butterfree. Because, my God, he abandoned the shit out of it and everything. It was wild.
Didn't Jesse get Wobbuffet?
Yes.
After
that was in
Arbok?
Johto. Wabba wabba.
What'd James get?
Victory Bell.
Oh.
Jesse got Lickitung. He got Victor Bell. And what else did they have? I'm trying to remember some of the other Pokemon they ended up getting in the later seasons.
Like, those two are definitely Harry and Marv from Home Alone, just getting bested by Kevin McAllister for like 10 seasons.
They're comedic relief.
Yeah.
And there's Meowth.
Yeah. Meowth.
Yeah. I'm the top cat.
Meowth, that's right.
And he never learned Payday. It always bugged me. It's like he literally struggled for years learning how to speak English, but can't learn Payday. I'm like, Meowth, my guy, come on. You've overcome so fucking much. Just learn Payday and you can make Team Rocket rich.
Right? And there's all the times like when he goes to see Giovanni and he's just got the Persian laying around and there's all the Meowths that are just regular cats.
What's with the Persian?
And he just is sad all the time.
Mm-hmm. I can't help but feel like it was kind of an Inspector Gadget reference with the claw. He's like stroking the cat.
Did he have a claw hand?
No, he didn't. Oh. But like he was a shadowy figure.
Yeah, in his fucking suit.
Mm-hmm. Just like, don't fail me again. And they proceed to fail him again.
As always. It's like, you know that these ones have a bad reputation. Why do you keep putting so much faith in them?
It's like, God damn it.
You have an entire legion of people. Why do you pick the shittiest ones to have?
Right.
And all the other guys had like the black suits with the caps, right?
Yeah, but they had white.
Yeah.
I'm just like, maybe that was deliberate because they're like, okay, these guys are fucking idiots. There we go. Get them out of here.
Yeah, it's just, they were the worst.
But I like how it's references to old Western villains or like Western shooters. Jesse James.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was like their rivals, Butch and Cassidy.
I forgot about Butch.
Yeah, there's Butch Cassidy and Jesse James. And like, oh my God, are you serious?
I never thought about that.
Yep. Huh. So they have that going on. I'm sure there's other ones too, but they make all kinds of hilarious, like secret subliminal messages and all that stuff.
Well, it catered to the Americans very well.
Mm-hmm.
Well played.
So good.
Well played, Japan.
Jelly donuts.
Ugh.
They were not jelly donuts.
Made of rice cake.
Yeah. Totally fabricated lies.
Don't you ever try to trick an American with a fake jelly donut.
Right.
Don't you do it.
Yeah. As it turns out, oh my gosh, I know Ashley loves a lot of Japanese culture things and everything, like sushi and rice bowls. I love poke bowls too, which I guess is more of a Hawaiian kind of a mix between
Pokeball.
I know that confuses people. A poke bowl is technically a rice bowl that has like a protein, some veggies, and like a poke sauce that you put over top. Yeah. Kind of like a sweeter, a little bit more heat type of sauce. Okay. Really good. And yeah, but a poke ball is something from Pokemon that you hold a Pokemon in.
Is a fourth dimensional object that they don't ever explain.
All right. Yeah, they never really go into details about the Pokeballs, do they?
Because I feel like they have the technology to make Pokeballs. They should have a lot more cool stuff, and they really don't.
Right?
It's like, how do they make that thing be able to shrink, grow big, and hold creatures in there without dying?
It makes sense, though. They're pocket monsters. But they never keep them on their pocket. It's like belt monsters.
Yeah.
I don't know. Great question.
Yeah, like there's very little technology on the level of the Pokeball in that show.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember always wanting a Pokedex back in the day, too, because I'm like, that's so awesome. And then in Pokemon Gold and Silver, you get the Poke Gear, which is basically the similar, like how we have a smartphone now, where you can actually call people through your Pokedex. I'm like, this is awesome. Holy shit, what amazing technology.
I don't remember that.
And you could actually call like previous trainers that you like beat the tar out of. They're just like, hey, you're pretty good. Here, give me your phone number. And they can give you like an eavesdrop on like if there's like special like shiny Pokemon in the area, or if you want to battle again just at random.
Huh.
It's really cool. I'm like, what an interesting feature.
I don't remember that.
Yep. So gold and silver version.
I just remember playing Gold and Silver to get Ho-Oh and Lugia.
Yep. Good old Lugia.
And it blew my mind that it might have been you that said that Ho-Oh is at the end of the first episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And forgot all about it.
Yep. That was in the Golden Turkey. Big old Golden Turkey.
It's such a terrible...
Well, people are speculating if that's Ho-Oh or if that's a shiny Ho-Oh. Because I'm starting to think now, like, okay, the way he looked at the end of the show, he was obviously sparkling.
Yeah,
so I'm
like leaving the little contrail of sparkles.
Because a shiny Ho-Oh is like completely golden. So, got a fly buzzing around here.
Get out of here.
Smack him. That'll take care of him.
He just wants to give his 2 cents.
Yeah. He's like, I'll tell you. Is there actually a fly or an insect Pokemon? There's Venonat.
There is Venonat.
Yeah. Venonat. It would sit there and like shudder back and forth.
I don't know how Venonat, the little fluff ball, turns into a moth.
Venomoth.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. It doesn't have a middle form, right?
I don't think so.
For some reason, Beedrill did, though.
Yeah, and Butterfree. Caterpie,
Yeah.
Metapod, and Butterfree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Venonat
like-
and Venomoth.
I feel like Weedle should have turned into Venomoth as,
Yeah, I
as
can
a
see
third
that.
stage because it would have countered Butterfree.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, not that Venonat should have turned into Beedrill, but...
Mm-hmm. Or Larvitar. Turning into Tyranitar. Larvitar sounds like something that should turn into a moth, right?
Yeah, right? It should be like a little larva.
Larvae?
He's just a little baby dinosaur.
Mm-hmm. And this thing was hard as hell to get to. Like, you would literally have to beat all of Johto, all of Kanto to get access to Mount Silver. And then when you finally worked your way up there, you finally ran into this little bastard.
I feel like I remember going to Mount Silver just as a place.
Mm-hmm.
But Game Shark.
The big thing at the end of that one, obviously catching more rare and stronger Pokemon like Larvitar here, you'd also battle Red. Like Trainer Red, who's supposed to be like the original trainer from the first like Pokemon Red version. But he has like a level 81 Pikachu. His team is just like jacked to the max.
Huh.
And there's someone had a TikTok episode that showed like this one guy teaching his son. He was like, here, son, go play Pokemon Gold and Silver version. Like, Dad, this was extremely easy. I just beat the Elite Four twice. And like, have you beat Trainer Red yet? And he said, who's Trainer Red? I'm like, go face him, son. He's just like, oh my God. He's like freaking out. Level 81 Pikachu. What? Absolutely getting smoked. Yeah, that guy's a bastard. I think I cheesed it and ended up using either the missing no codes and then trading to my gold version, getting all level 100 Pokemon and just smoking Red like nobody's business.
Got to cheat to win, man.
Yeah. Well, utilizing every option available.
Yeah.
So you have Game Shark. There you go.
Yeah, right?
So all part of the game.
Yeah. It's not cheating. It's exploiting.
We're utilizing the resources that are given to us
That's
to be a Pokemon master, baby.
That's right. Team Rocket did it and nobody gave them any crap.
Exactly. Although Team Rocket, I don't think ever won a championship, did they?
Team Rocket didn't win shit.
Well, if you think about it, Giovanni was a gym leader. He was the 8th gym leader.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? You ever watch they came out with another anime series called Pokemon Origins, a 3-episode series. And it's this hilarious one where he's just like really getting into like battling against Trainer Red. He's like, why do I feel so alive right now? And he's like almost like getting turned on by everything. He's like, yes, I haven't felt this feeling since I was a boy. Oh, go right on. Use your tackle. I used to stand just like that. And it's like, what the fuck? Dude, you're getting a hard on for a kid or something? Like, calm down, man.
It screams anime, though.
Oh, it does. Just like
the
I feel alive inside.
over-the-top dialogue.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
And these books that you have from the...
Yeah, the old Scholastic Pokemon official handbook. There's a red version, and there was like this weird-looking lime green version that had Mew at the very back of the book.
It had the holofoil front.
Yeah, really cool. But it would show like what level certain Pokemon would evolve and everything.
Yeah, I remember these two books.
Yeah, the artwork's great in them too.
Yeah, it's got the old style.
Yep, straight out of the anime.
Fucking Magmar.
Mm-hmm. Butthead.
What an idiot.
Magmar.
I also forgot that in
Magmar you could get inbred version, I think.
In the original show, whenever they would encounter like the Pokédex, like Pinsir, the stag beetle Pokemon. Like it was so...
What?
Yeah, it would describe the entire Pokemon.
I remember the original voice for the Pokedex Dexter. I am Dexter. Blah, blah, blah. You're a Pokemon trainer guide. Yeah, Lickitung looked
There he is.
so, yeah. Coffee.
What an idiot.
Freaking coffee. I remember, yeah, you would make references to coughing all the time back in the day. I'm like, oh my God, so good.
Somehow he's only 2 pounds, and yet he would tackle a 150-pound man to the ground.
The one move that drove me nuts with coughing and wheezing, fucking explosion. Drive me up a wall. Because I'd be down to like my last Pokemon, like, okay, going against Koga, the 6th gym leader. You go down there and like he would just wipe out all your Pokemon with like using Toxic or using some type of thing. I get down to my last Pokemon, it's like Wheezing, level 42. Use Explosion. No! I'm down to my last Blastoise and you see his health go down, my health go down, and said you blacked out. I'm like, no! Got to go back and rebeat him again. I'm like, God damn Koga.
I do remember that. The explosion was such a
outrageous cheat.
His get out of jail free card.
God damn it.
Redo.
I don't know if that was as annoying as Lance, like the last leader of the Elite Four that had like a wall of Dragonairs and Dragonites. But as soon as I found out, like, if you learned an ice attack, like, I just loaded Articuno in my back pocket. If you have Articuno for them, he'll wipe them out with an Ice Beam or a Blizzard in one shot. So it's just like, bye, Dragon, gone.
Yeah, but the Dragonites were all, Dragonite was always a spongy character.
He always looks so derpy, and they were like, "Grr?"
He's the fat Charizard.
Yeah. You ever see the one hilarious thing where it says, like, what's that, makeup, and then when you contour, and it shows difference between, like, a Dragonite close-up and a Charizard close-up, and Charizard's, like, all got, like, the
angles and...
Yeah, got, like, the actual lines and everything. And Dragonite's like, Grr?
He's rounded and blunt.
But Dragonite, I feel like, would kick the shit out of Charizard, though.
Yeah, he's the nicer Pokemon.
Yeah, he does Hyper Beam.
Yeah. God, the Hyper Beam was such a good move.
And that's the one thing, everybody talks about Ash Ketchum not being a champion until recently. People forget he won the Orange Island against a Dragonite. It was Pikachu versus Dragonite, the very last battle.
Pikachu was such a horseshit character, though.
It was.
How he defeats fucking everything. It's bullshit.
Well, he, like, super overpowered Pikachu, in that Pewter Sea episode where he faced Brock? Or Brock's father, like, you didn't know at the time, but he was basically helping. He was like, so you want to try and beat Brock, huh? Well, I've got, like, this water wheel over here, and we can supercharge your Pikachu to be enough where it can affect rock type. And I'm like, that is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, I was going to say, he...
No electric attack is ever going to affect a rock type, regardless of how strong you make your Pikachu, dude.
Yeah, bullshit.
But supposedly that really jacked up Pikachu's level or something at that thing. So...
Yeah, I remember him, like, explicitly, like, zapping Geodudes or some shit. I'm like, this is bullshit.
I was like, yeah, that does not happen. No. Yeah, you cannot... Electric attacks... No matter how strong, even Thunder Wave, that's supposed to automatically paralyze Pokemon, has no effect on rocks.
Yeah. God, do you remember Poke Awesome?
Sounds familiar. What was that?
It was sort of like the Dragon Ball PP, but with Pokemon.
Really?
And it's like the Pikachu is just beating the shit out of a Venusaur.
I think I faintly remember this one.
Yeah, it's I'll have to find it on YouTube. It's funny. Anybody listening?
Is it the one with, like, the reluctant Bulbasaur? Like, Pikachu gets hurt, he's like, oh, fuck!
My fucking knee!
God damn it! The Bulbasaur's just like, you okay, man?
Yeah, it's the Venusaur. He's like, just say fucking Solar Beam. He goes to use it, and it's like, you gotta charge it up for one of your moves. Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, that was annoying with Venusaur. Oh, yeah, Solar Beam took a whole move. Skull Bash the same way. And Sky Attack, you had to wait a whole turn. And then,
oh, yeah, I'm finally going to get to use Solar Beam. No. Charging.
The thing that would be annoying is, and I'd love to use this, if people would use those type of attacks on me, the next turn, if I had like a Diggler or Dugtrio, use Dig. It would miss every time. Yeah. It's like, whoop, went underground. No! And they basically waste 2 turns just trying to charge up, and then that, or you use Fly with Pidgeot or Pidgeotto. Or like any legendary birds. So if someone's using like a charge up attack like Solar Beam, just be like, Articuno use Fly. And then like Solar Beam's useless.
And it's hilarious that, like, obviously it's a game, so there has to be that sort of mechanic, but if you're in the Pokemon world, how are they just, you can aim, come on.
Right. Yeah, totally different rules in anime. Like how Ash ended up winning so many like things from like stupid moves that aren't even in the game. Yeah, just like, oh, Pikachu uses tail as a ground to dodge the electric attack. Yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah, or Pikachu just defeats fucking everything.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. Pikachu defeats Onix.
Yeah.
What? No! That's not how this works!
Need the Kevin Spacey. Wrong!
Yeah, exactly. Wrong! Let me hear you say it just once.
Wrong! Wrong! Yeah. God.
This thing.
Oh! Ew, dude! What the fuck?
What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. That's how we feel.
Yeah.
Just like really got an unfair bet. Although Pokemon wasn't as egregious as Yu-Gi-Oh was. Yu-Gi-Oh was just nuts.
I never Yu-Gi-Oh'd.
Oh my god. Basically, how it would work in the games, there was a star system. You could only summon like 1 through 4 star like cards at the very beginning, and you'd have to sacrifice one in order to bring out one that's like a 5 to 7 star. Anything above that, like an 8 star or more, you need to sacrifice 2 smaller stars, like or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, in order to bring out that one.
Yeah.
Like a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you need to sacrifice 2 basic cards in order to bring out a Blue Eyes. So, but like back in the anime, they're just like, oh no, here's 3 Blue Eyes, and just automatically someone's like, how? You don't do that.
That's not how it works.
God damn it.
The games told me otherwise. You're breaking the rules.
Going back to the original Pokemon card game, okay, did you ever play in tournaments or anything like that?
No, I've only played around like at the house. I did have one of the fold-out paper mats.
The cool little mats you got, yeah.
Yeah, it was a piece of shit. It was all like you folded it twice and it just tattered. Like all the corners broke out and shit.
Or the old damage counters are basically just like what little fishbowl pellets that you put at the bottom of a fishbowl.
Yeah, they were the little sequence stones. Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought those things were cool. I like those better than like now they have these little like cardboard cutout, poke out things.
Yeah.
They basically have like 10, and 50.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, these don't have the same thing as like the little gems you get at the bottom of a fish tag.
Yeah, could never just grasp how to play the game quite right, and just would get defeated by the most basic shit.
It was interesting because they had like what a prize collection. Because I figured out how to play from the Pokemon trading card Game Boy game, which they came out with too. That thing's like rage bait. Don't play it. It'll make you mad. I think honestly that might be how I broke my original Game Boy Color. Was that fucking game? I was so mad. I'm just like, it's me again. And I smashed the screen and just like let the big black end in. I'm like, well, I broke this Game Boy Color.
Well, fuck.
That's how it happened. That is how it happened. It's the friggin' Pokemon card game, Game Boy game.
Mine might have been Mortal Kombat.
Yep. Understandable, too. That could be ragey, too.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
Pokey rage. So, Charmander used rage. Super effective.
No. You can't use rage, but Pikachu can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Right. Doesn't matter. Pikachu wins anyway, just because he's got plot armor.
Just because, yeah.
God damn it! Who could have foreseen this happening?
Right? Like, there's no way Pikachu will be able to pull this one off. Just you fucking wait.
Yep. Wait long enough. We'll see. Okay, the other thing, too, with Team Rocket, how they were always capturing Pikachu. Where did they get the funding for half of their shit? Like, in one episode, they literally had a floating stadium with air balloons that were pulling the entire stadium up with them.
Where?
And they were and that whole stadium was blown away by a Pidgeotto.
Yeah, they always
How
had,
does that happen?
Yeah, they always had, like, the Meowth balloon, too.
Right.
They just randomly showed up in. Mm-hmm. It's like that bit in Family Guy where he just shows up in, like...
The Peter Copter?
Yeah, the Peter Copter, the Hidden Peter. Mm-hmm. Like, where do you get the stuff from?
Yeah, exactly. Peter! Joe, watch the blades!
Get back
watch
in the house.
blades!
The blades are still spinning.
But I feel the same way with Team Rocket. It's like, how do they get the funds for all this stuff? Like, are you kidding me?
Whatever nefarious things Giovanni's up to.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing, too. Why does it keep, like, letting them? Makes no sense. Just like, you know they're going to be, like, wasting money.
Again, they're getting Home Alone. They can't beat Kevin McAllister.
It's like, my God. It's like, they got enough money for all these guns and bazookas and, like...
aircraft and disguises and Pokeballs. And...
Yeah, entire businesses even sometimes, because they were competing against, like, this rival, like, salon expert or something. And they're trying to run, like, a thing where, like, they're actually capturing Pokemon. Like, people would bring in their Pokemon to get groomed, and they would literally just, throw them in cages.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, are you so desperate for a couple of, like, Weedles that you can't just go out and catch them? Again, I don't know what their whole...
Not the most sophisticated, like, criminal organization in the Pokemon universe, but hey. They're meant to be comedic, I guess.
Yeah, I want to know what the grand scheme of Team Rocket was.
Right. Well, I think, wasn't it Master Ball? Yeah, having the Master Ball and basically being in charge of, like, all Pokemon-related things or whatever.
They just wanted
to use it for evil.
Denounce the evils of truth and love. That's all they wanted.
Yep. They denounce themselves. I always love the episodes in anime where, like, you know, Ash, Misty, and Brock would make fun of them and, like, mock them and throw the logo back in their face or their motto back in their face. So freaking good.
Yeah, good comedic writing in anime shows like that. And
got him so good.
Fucking Pikachu. I will never let it go. I can't stand Pikachu.
Yeah, don't know why he is the center point, but yeah, everybody loves him. That and then they ended up creating Pichu, like a baby version of Pikachu. Which that drove me nuts in like Super Smash Brothers. Like he would actually cause damage to himself because he doesn't have full control over his electric powers yet. So Pichu would constantly like hurt himself. Like, what are you doing?
I remember playing as Pikachu a lot in Super Smash.
Oh yeah, that was classic.
Yeah, that and I would play as Yoshi a lot.
Yoshi,
because you could just eat people. And shit them out in an egg. It would fuck them up for a little bit.
I would love to be Donkey Kong. I'd grab people, throw them on my back, and just jump off the edge of them. It would be like basically committing a double knockout.
Yeah,
just like no.
That game infuriated me though.
Oh yeah,
like you knock somebody off and they somehow bounce from off the screen back.
I remember playing in the Saffron Saffron City was one of the levels on Super Smash Brothers, and there's this hilarious thing. I think Mark and David would they'd come down on this one platform and this gate would open up and a random Pokemon would pop out. One was Venusaur, and he would come out and Mark would drop down and Venusaur would be like, Venusaur! He'd come out and smack him and Mark would just go across the screen. Gone. One hit knockout. I'm like, oh no!
Perfect.
There's also a busted thing in that thing too where Hitmonlee, they give you Pokeballs you can throw and Pokemon come out and help you battle.
Yeah.
Hitmonlee in that game actually had the wrong voiceover. Like, if you spawn a Pokeball in the original Super Smash Brothers and Hitmonlee pops out, he'll say, Psyduck? I'm like, what? They totally got it wrong, so he basically sounds like Psyduck, but it's Hitmonlee. I'm like, what?
Well, they must have had the soundbite in there.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck?
That's weird.
Somebody screwed that up bad.
Yeah.
So that was a mess up. I heard Beedrill was hilarious. You spawn one Beedrill from a Pokeball, and like it would be an entire swarm that come across the screen. Somebody would already be trying to come back in, and they get hit by Beedrill, and they went further back. No.
An army of Beedrills just in reality would be horrifying.
There was, oh my god, there was a bunch of other Pokeballs in that game too, and in I think the sequel in the Super Smash Brothers Melee game, you could actually summon like all the legendary beasts and Ho-Oh and Lugia.
Oh yeah,
Ho-Oh was crazy. Like you'd summon him, and all of a sudden, it'd be like Sacred Fire would shoot up, like the entire like rink would be engulfed in this giant fire tower.
I don't know if I ever played Melee.
Melee was good. It's a long grind though. Holy crap!
Yeah,
they had like the whole like arcade prize thing, and there's so many collectibles. Like, oh my god,
that one had a really big roster though, right?
It did. It was massive. And then Mewtwo was in that one too.
I remember you had. Did you have that or did you borrow it?
I had it.
I
still got it.
I remember you playing as Mewtwo.
Yep. Mewtwo was hard to get because there was a thing like you could either do special things in like adventure mode or classic mode and beat certain things, or you could do, I think, competitive, where you're facing either another player or another computer and do ever so many rounds. I think there was a character you unlock at 50 multiplayer rounds, then every 100 you would unlock a new character.
Huh.
So I think if you played 700 multiplayer like melee battles, you would unlock Mewtwo. 700. I remember sitting there on a Saturday just going, enter into a match. Go game, go game, go game, go game. And literally just like jumping off the edge or something like that. And eventually it'd be like, challenger approaching. That'd be Mewtwo, and then he'd probably kick my ass, and you'd have to go back and play another game just to get back to him. It's like, damn it.
Man.
Yeah, it was a grind.
Ugh.
The amount of time we invested in these games as kids was just crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, I remember, what's some of the other Pokemon they had in that game, too? Dang it. Because remember, like, the playable ones were Pikachu, Jigglypuff. That was the one Sean's dad said he unlocked. He's like, we're about to unlock a new secret character. It's going to be so big time. And Sean's just like, it's the easiest guy to unlock. Yeah, Jigglypuff was so easy in the original Super Smash. You basically beat any classic mode. Even on very easy difficulty, you'll unlock Jigglypuff.
What
is like, yeah, we're getting a special character.
Fucking Jigglypuff.
Mm-hmm. That thing was basically useless too. If you press down and B, it would do like a one hit like knock you across the way, but it like put herself to sleep.
Huh.
Or if you press up and B, she would go into a sing. So you're sitting there and trying to puff your way back to the ledge, and you actually hit up and B, thinking you're Pikachu. It does like a little peek peek and does like a little
bounce kind of thing.
Yeah, just like a hyper agility bounce. Jigglypuff, by contrast, will literally start breaking out into song like, you can't do anything. You lose control of everything, and you just plummets to her death. It's like, no!
I remember Jigglypuff was very, very popular on all sorts of media back in the day, like the launchable things. And,
yep, the big old eyes.
Yeah, it was just any little cutesy character they could stick on stuff. It was one of those.
And then in the anime, it basically made its appearance, like it was kind of like another comedic relief figure where every time it sang, no one could like be awake while it was singing.
Yeah, it always
so
put
they all
everybody
fall
to sleep,
asleep.
right?
Mm-hmm. Which that was supposed to be Clefairy's thing too. It wasn't just Jigglypuff that knew to sing; it was Clefairy too.
Huh.
So they both shared that type of like,
that little
attribute.
Yeah, the fairy.
And I think they finally showed her evolved form Wigglytuff the one time. The fucking outrageous voice. Almost sounds like Gollum if you think about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like a girl version of Gollum.
Gollum Pokemon.
Precious. Precious. So good. Some of the voices for the Pokemon are just absolutely like fantastic. What were some of the more distinct ones we could remember? That'd be a great one. Or Shroomish. Shroom.
I can't remember any of them except for coughing and wheezing.
Well, Pikachu.
And Ekans.
Arbok's like, Chabak!
Yeah, it always did have the CH in there.
Yeah. There's Wobbuffet. Wobba!
I can't remember that one. That was after I had stopped.
Yeah, that was Johto.
Watching.
Onyx had like this weird like grumble growl. Geodude.
Yeah, Geodude was... Diglett dig, Diglett dig, Diglett dig.
Yeah. Trio. That fucking episode, everybody's trying to like capture the Diglett, and their Pokemon wouldn't come out of the Pokeball, so the Diglett just like they bring him back like, thank you.
Is there not an episode with a bunch of Diglets that are all doing the Diglett shit at one time? Or am I making that up?
No, there was Dig That Diglett was the episode.
Okay.
There was that episode, and Gary makes an appearance, and Gary's like cruising around with his car and his like cheer squad.
I forgot he had an
He's
entourage.
like, yeah, this will take care of him. Go! And the Pokemon would refuse to come out because the Diglett were trying to like protect everybody because they were trying to build a dam or something.
Oh, there was the Squirtle squad.
Yeah, Squirtle.
Wasn't one of them the ones that had the leather coat and the sunglasses?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ash's one had the really cool like pointed glasses.
Oh,
that's
so
awesome.
That's the one he catches.
Yep. The leader of the Squirtle squad.
Yeah, the leader of the Squirtle squad.
So good.
What's the episode that had all the Pikachus that come like pouring over a wall or something? It's in the intro. There's like a ton of Pikachus that like jump over.
That was the second episode. That's the one where Pikachu is basically at the Viridian City Poke Center, and he's basically being recouped. And Team Rocket knocks out the power, and all of a sudden, all these Pikachus come in. They're just like Pikachu, Pikachu, and they generate like a external battery power thing. And yeah, apparently, Team Rocket knock over everything else, and these Pikachus just start pouring out of the wall, and they just start using Thunder Shock on Team Rocket. And magically, Ash's Pikachu's better now. It's like, oh, okay.
They just needed some friends. That's all.
There's Horsey.
Oh yeah, the seahorse. Yeah. I'm going into the book.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Ghastly is interesting. It's like ghastly, awfully ghastly.
Did Gloom ever say anything?
It did. It was like Gloom,
which is hilariously energetic for how he looks.
I know. That thing looks like a derp. And then Oddish was like Oddish.
Yeah. Psyduck.
Yeah.
He just
you would freak out with a headache all the time.
Slowpoke.
Yeah.
Slowpoke. Slow.
And then there was like his evolved form and like Slowbro, and then there was Slow King, which is another one. If you give him a King's Rock, I could use pants.
I like that. There's the episode where Slowpoke evolves. He just like backs up to a puddle, sticks his tail in, and walks out, and he's just got the shell thing. Which they always called it a shelter.
Yeah, it is a shelter. It turns into like this really weird looking thing.
It looks like a conch.
Yeah.
Which, how is that a shelter when shelter's its own thing? That's a fucking clam.
There's an episode that shows like when it like attaches onto the back of a Slowpoke, it does evolve with the Slowbro and becomes like, it's like two Pokemon in one, which is wild.
Huh.
So, but yeah, it turns into like some weird conch thing.
Cloyster, that's what he turns into.
Cloyster.
Eevee sounded sort of Pikachu-ish, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of high-pitched little.
Eevee's like, Eva.
Mark. Forgot about Muck.
Mm-hmm. Mark.
Jesus. Snorlax.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot you needed the flute to get him out of the way. Thank you, James, for that.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot all about that.
Good old Pokey Flute. Once again, they should have made a freaking recorder back then. Why they didn't? It's such... Oh.
I'm pretty sure... I don't know why they didn't, because I'm pretty sure for Power Rangers, they made the Green Ranger's flute.
Really? The sword?
Yeah, the sword flute. I'm pretty sure you can buy that.
I still love the meme of that one, too, where it's just like the guy's wearing a helmet, blowing into a sword that makes the sound of a flute.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense.
Yep. Venusaur in them, I don't know.
Yeah.
Pigeon. Fearow. I forgot Fearow was a horrifying fucking bird.
Yeah.
Zubat.
Spearow is not any better. I actually kind of shy away from Spearows. I think one playthrough, I played with a Spearow instead of a Pidgey. And, I mean, it's interesting because it knows, like, Fury Attack and everything and Fury Scrapes or whatever.
Farfetch'd, he just carries the reed around to beat people with.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Mime.
Execute.
Mr. Mime weirds Ashley out.
Mr. Mime's a creep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so is Lickitung.
Yeah.
Oh, Jinx.
Yeah.
Jinx. Before they...
Political controversy.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Then there's Electabuzz. The weird thing in the anime, Electabuzz and Scyther actually had like this weird thing where they would be driven mad by the sight of anything red. And they never kept that as like a thing in the games. I'm like...
I think I remember that with Scyther.
Yeah. Like they slice a ketchup bottle by accident and it ends up on both their eyes and they're just like... So everything in the world's red to them, so they start attacking their own trainers. Scyther, what's wrong? Electabuzz, what are you doing? They just start like zapping and slashing the shit out of their own trainer. Like,
Electabuzz and even Scyther was such like a weird one-off.
It was.
Because they were already pretty strong, but they didn't have evolutions at the time.
Yep. And then they were just like, let's give them an evolution. So Scyther got what? Scizor.
Yeah. Electabuzz got a downgrade.
Yeah.
Alakid. Well,
there's that, and then he ends up getting another evolved form later on, too. It turns into like a really big looking guy.
Yeah.
what's it, Electrovine or something?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Electivire?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he turns into a beast.
Yeah. But yeah, they give him a baby form. That's the thing, too. They went back and created a whole bunch of baby forms for all the original, like Smooch 'em for Jinx. Yeah. You know, I used to get a bunch of those from the Pokéeggs in Pokemon Go.
Yeah. We haven't talked about Pokemon Go.
I was going to say, yeah, we should probably get into that, too. So, okay, when Pokemon Go first came out, when did you really jump into this game?
Maybe 4 months after it came out.
Really? So right around, like, what, in the fall? Because
Yeah.
it came out in July of 2016, I believe.
Yeah, it was definitely at least more toward fall.
Mm-hmm.
So one guy at work was playing it. I'm like, no fucking way.
Right? Like, Pokemon on your phone? Really?
Because he used to do, we'd be driving around at Copeland trying to, well, at work anyway, trying to do, like, follow the footprint thing, and it just didn't fucking work.
Right. Yeah, that thing was so busted.
Yeah.
I'm just
like,
like,
oh, let's
God
follow the
damn it.
footprints. It'd be like 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, gone. Mm-hmm. Back up. 2 steps, gone. Fuck.
So when you first popped into your game, it gives you the option to get the original 3. You want a Charmander, I assume?
Honestly, I don't remember. Probably. That seems a safe bet.
Like I said, in the one Pokemon book that I narrated, 50 Things to Know About Pokemon Go, A Trainer's Guide by Sarah Lynn. So that'd be my drop here. If you ever get a chance, check it out on Audible. It's there. Get it. It's good. But one of the main tips they talk about is you get the first 3 original starters in that thing. And if you choose not to collect any of the 3, like they'll disappear, they'll reappear after a couple minutes, they'll disappear again. Then the next time they pop up, a Pikachu will pop up. And you have a chance to collect, or Pikachu is your first catch.
Huh.
So that's in the game as well.
Yeah,
That's kind of a cool little tip.
It was either Squirtle. It very well could have been Squirtle because the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Then that was when I was like, oh, you're around water. There's got to be water types. There's no way I'm ever going to find fucking
That's the
fire.
thing. I thought the same thing. It's like we're out in the woods. You probably get a lot of like bugs and like, grass type Pokemon.
Yeah.
So we were thinking like, oh, well, if we go to like, Pittsburgh or something like that, you may get more fire types or something or smog. Yeah, like coffee all over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, fucking everywhere.
So great.
There was a
Steelix.
we had these spawn points picked out where, like at work, like you go around back by a delivery entrance, and it was a spawn for big stuff. There'd be like Nidokings, Nidoqueens, like Charizards and shit, Gyarados and stuff. Like big stupid shit would spawn back there.
Really?
Yeah, and that was pretty much it.
Wild.
Yeah, and then like when it would change, like Snorlax would pop up back there, Scyther, like the big stuff. Originally, it was weird.
Like I said, down at I think it's Lock 4 down in Canal Fulton.
Yeah.
Used to be a Magikarp nest. Yeah. And James and I would swing down there and we'd just load up on Magikarp because back then you need 400 fucking candies to get a goddamn Gyarados. And I'm like, oh my God.
Me, you, and him went down there that one day.
That's right. Yeah. We were catching them like freaking crazy.
Yeah, because I thought one of you guys caught a shiny.
I think so. Yeah, because it might have been James because I didn't get a shiny until there was this one time, like, I think it was the turn of a New Year's in January. They were having a Magikarp live event. And I was just getting them like one after another. I'm like, shiny Magikarp, shiny. It was like 12 of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah,
I actually didn't get a single one. She's like,
what's
what's the
started
deal?
giving them away.
Mm-hmm. So I had a ton of those suckers. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. I remember, or over in Barberton, like when the game first started, it was a Drowsy hub. There was tons of Drowsies all over town. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, those damn things were everywhere.
Yep. Although apparently in Florida, they were a rarity. Because there was
weird.
there was entire crowds that were like swarming to try and find one Drowsy.
Huh.
I'm just like, that's interesting.
I went to Price Park in Canton, and it was like everybody was at one end of the park, and they're like, there's a Dratini down there, and like 50 people.
Giant swarm.
The entire group moved to catch the Dratini.
It was an interesting social experiment if you really think about it. We did the same thing around here with a war turtle. It just popped up at the VFW, and everybody's just like, guys, there's a war turtle over there. And slowly everybody got up from the park and just migrated en masse over to this one area to go catch a friggin' turtle.
And I remember you guys talking about how depressing it was to catch a Gyarados that's like a CP75 or something really low.
It was like CP37. I'm like, God damn it.
Like, why?
Yeah, it's like a baby. Yeah. But that's after we caught like all these Magikarp finally evolved. Like, we finally got a Gyarados. There's a wild one. Are you serious?
Yep. And it's a piece of shit.
God damn. That's the thing too. You get this cool like evolved form. Like you run to a Charizard out in the wild. Wow. CP like 138. Yep. It's like, are you kidding me?
And I know that like right down Pokemon out at my parents' house was weird. Like you could get a couple there, but if I could leave the house, go down 2 houses, and still manage to stay on the Wi-Fi or have decent cell service,
that was the thing too.
Like once an hour, something cool would spawn down there, like a Nidoking.
Weird.
Yeah. You'd catch that there'd be like Paris or something stupid and little floating around, but then like once an hour or so, something else would spawn down there.
Right. Yeah, it was the most random places. So yeah, the footprint thing never worked.
No.
And we would assume, like, okay, we go by water, you're going to find water Pokemon. Or go to a forest, you're going to find bugs.
Yeah.
it was not like that at all. And it should be. And that's why I think in the future it will be.
Yeah.
In the next iteration of whatever that's going to be for Pokemon, because I really think Pokemon Go is just like tip of the iceberg. It's a stepping stone. It's the next jump to make it feel like the original Pokemon really came out during when we played the Game Boy games in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that this was the next like logical step for Pokemon games.
Yeah.
The next one's going to be unbelievable.
I would imagine.
Which I am so excited for whatever that day comes. So
Like I remember you saying with the gym thing, how you could stay in there and get 50 coins a day.
yeah, wasn't that crazy?
Per gym.
Yep.
Now you can get
Just 50
coins flat. That's it.
Per day, and your Pokemon has to get knocked out of that gym.
Yeah, for the day. Because I held, there was either 2 or 3 gyms in the one cemetery in Alliance,
Oh, yeah.
and I held those for like 3 months. So I'd be collecting 150 coins a day from those gyms. I was banking so much
Free money.
Yeah. And then,
And then they changed it up. Now Niantic's just like, pay us everything.
right, and like I spent too much money on that fucking game.
I was going to say, yeah, because I asked James how much he spent. How much do you think you spent? Hundreds? Thousands?
Not thousands.
Yeah.
Probably, if it's not 100, it has to be close.
Between me and Ashley, probably over 1,000 at
Really?
least. Yes. Because all the different passes, because we would spend like $50 a pop, I think, on just getting the Safari Zone passes.
Okay.
Because there's that stuff too, like the PokeFest, which there's one coming up in July too.
Yeah, I just bought a lot of like the bag upgrades and the
Yes.
storage capacity stuff.
I did too, because we got so many Pokestops around here. You drive around in your car and you spin all those stops,
Yeah.
you'll fill up your bag.
Yeah, there was a point I had like 700 Ultra Balls, like maybe 1,700 Great Balls. I didn't have any Pokeballs at all. I kept deleting them
Yep.
so I could have better shit.
Right.
I'd delete potions. I would delete just the little stupid shit that I would never use. And I just had all these balls, and
You ever use the Pokeball Plus?
no.
That thing's pretty cool. Like first they had the Pokemon Plus like armband thing,
Yeah.
which that thing is okay. But the Pokeball Plus is one you could get that would hook up to your Nintendo Switch. You could play Let's Go Eevee and get other stuff. But that with Pokemon Go would allow you to basically use all your Pokeballs, and you could just automatically like try a chance catch a random Pokemon as you're driving by or walking by.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention. Just hit the button and it'll connect through Bluetooth and it'll just catch Pokemon for you, which is awesome. But it'll only use Pokeballs, not Great Balls or Ultra Balls, which is annoying.
Yeah.
I found, honestly, because I did the same thing you did where I just increased my bag. I've got over 500 Ultra Balls in my bag now. I never keep Great Balls. There's no point for them.
Yeah.
Because, either use the Pokeball Plus thing and you can catch Pokemon with a Pokeball, or just use Ultra Balls.
Yep.
Great Balls, no point.
Yep.
Makes it irrelevant.
And I would go through spurts where I'd play it a lot for like a month and then kind of go down low
Peter
for a
out
while.
Yep.
Just hit stops and stuff and do the daily spins and all that jazz or some research stuff, and then
And some of those hoops they make you jump through for some of the research is just nuts. This one's show up every day to do something.
yeah.
And she's just she forgot the one time she was on day 28 and forgot. She's like, I can't believe it. I forgot to spin a Pokestop.
Yep.
And it's like, well, I got to reset.
Yep.
God damn it.
Yep. And it makes you reset, and it's like it doesn't just keep your progress. It's not like 28 out of 30. It's 28 in a row.
So it's you got to restart that entire month of progress again. It's like, God
Or
damn.
the ones where they make you catch weird rare shit.
Yes.
Like catch 50 Magmars or something. Like I don't even know where to find a friggin' Magmar.
And it's usually during an event day, so you'll never see the damn Magmar ever again.
Yep.
So Ash has still got one of those too, where it's a research from way back in 2019, which they're never gonna have a day like that again. If they do, it's gonna be a rarity.
Yeah, the one spot you and James stopped at to get Magmar, it was
Where was that?
he said it was a bog place, and it was because we hiked half a mile out into this prairie field thing. It was so fucking buggy.
What it was
hot.
It was there though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a bunch of Magmars. And I was like, holy crap.
All it said was that they were nearby, and we couldn't find the damn things.
Yeah. We found that out through the old Pokemon forums I think they used to have too. Where they just
That's
said
what it
this is now a spawn point, because they had what was it? Pokey something or other. It was just a little group people that just randomly post updates. I guess it would change every week or something like that.
Yeah.
And new spawning nests would pop up in certain areas. And they said, okay, this is now a whatever nest. This is a Cubone nest. This is a Charmander nest. So I'm like, that's kind of interesting.
Silver Park was a pretty good go-to if my phone would work there, which it never does.
I was going to say, because you have a tricky time trying to get cell service down that way.
Yeah. It's a friggin' dead zone in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What all did you catch down in Silver Park?
For a while there, it was a Cubone nest, and then there was drowsies everywhere.
The other hard one I had a hard time finding is Doduo. Doduo was very tricky to find.
That was a weird one.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know if I
area.
ever saw a wild one.
Really?
Yeah, it was always like a reward catch. Like, oh, you did this research thing. Doduo.
There was this one, it was like catch an Aerodactyl, and I was stuck on that research thing for years. It never spawned. I remember I ended up being at a gym, and I caught it in a gym. I'm like, yes, finally going to complete it. It didn't count. You have to catch it in the wild. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, shit.
So it drove me freaking nuts.
There was somewhere I went that was an Aerodactyl nest. They were fucking everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, would have loved to have. I finally eventually caught one.
Yeah.
I think I was on vacation in Florida, and we ended up catching one. I'm like, yes!
Yeah, I like drove through Alliance. It was like around Mount. And like, oh, that's an Aerodactyl. Okay. Caught it. There's another one. What the fuck? And like, oh my God, they're everywhere.
Oh, that's kind of like, if you ever go back and listen to the game theory, I think his name is Matt Pat. He talked about like, there's so many damn Nidoran. So where he was at, it was just like spawning Nidoran at mass.
The one time Price Park was a Dratini nest.
Really? Oh, that would have been sweet.
They were everywhere. There was Silver Park was something. It was actually pretty cool there for a minute, and I don't remember what it was. It was one of the ones that was harder to find. There's places that were like Rhydon or Rhyhorn nests that were.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That was pretty cool.
That's actually one of the research I got to do too, is catch a whole bunch of Rhyhorn.
Salem. There was someplace in Salem. There was one spot that we used to go sit. It was between two churches and another building. There was 3 stops you could hit from one spot. So we'd sit there for like an hour, and there was like a nest spawn too.
Yep. Now, the main pokey place to be here in Barberton is definitely Lake Anna.
Yeah.
You go into Lake Anna, that thing is literally just a circular lake with like a paved path that goes in a circle around the lake, and there's pokey stops at every corner. And you just keep walking and walking and walking, or drive around the lake, and you will just load up on balls, and there's actually added more gyms now there too.
Oh, really?
So there's like a ton of gyms out there. It's honestly a nice little pokey hub.
Yeah, more than one time come up here and we just spent hours just walking around there, sitting at one of the corners.
Yeah, freezing our butts off in the middle of the winter the one time.
Doing that fucking raid.
Yeah, trying to walk across everything, trying to get a coffee, and we realized the coffee shop's closed. I'm like, damn it!
The one kid, he was a seasonal kid that we worked with. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to, it was when it first started. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going up to Pokemon Lake.
Yep.
Like, what are you talking about? Pokemon Lake. It's like, what's the lake actually? Pokemon Lake. It's like, it's not actually called Pokemon Lake, you dickhead. What is it?
Yeah. But everybody, in Ohio would refer to Lake Anna as Pokey Lake.
Yeah.
Because it really was like a huge drawing for people. And it was open 24 hours too, so people could just come there at all times and just play Pokemon.
Yeah. And that's
worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it's a neat place for sure.
Mm-hmm. Worked out well for all of us.
Yeah.
So my God, and then we did X-raids there too, I think the one time. I think that's why you were over. We were doing an X-raid or something. It was like for a Mewtwo and stuff.
I don't think I ever got Mewtwo.
Really?
Yeah. I know we did some raids out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody caught the thing except me.
Really?
Oh. It was a legendary bird. It was when they were first started to do those.
Yeah, Articuno. I still remember there was one little girl, like I said, she tried to, she was there with her family, and they all battled in the Articuno raid, like, yeah, and it ran away from her, and she's like, why? I didn't catch it.
Well, kid.
Just like,
we'll break you early.
Yeah, tough life lesson. I'm like, actually, let's get out of here. Go, 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 go. She's about to burst.
Like, hey, kid, look what I caught.
Yep. She's about to blow.
Break them early.
She did, too. The poor little girl was just wailing, like, angry and sad. I don't blame her. It's just like, dang nabbit. So, but once again, live and learn.
Life lessons.
Oh, yeah. So, Pokemans. It's like, never combine your Pokemon card collection that I found out, too.
Yeah.
Bad move. So, ends up trading away all the good stuff. It's like, God damn it. Ugh. I remember, the one card I still would love to get again, which I don't think I still do, is Pidgeotto. That Pidgeotto card was very rare for me back then. And Mark traded away for basically nothing. He's like, traded for a Parasect. It's so rare. I'm like, dude, you get that in any jungle pack. Shut up.
Parasect? Those were everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just like, you stupid piece of shit. What are you doing?
I'm trying to think.
I thought it was rare.
I'm trying to think if I have I've seen a Pidgeotto card, but I don't.
Yeah, they're way harder to find than you realize. I'm like, damn it.
I don't think I had one.
Yep. Not many people did.
Yeah.
Had Pidgeys.
Yeah, Pidgeys galore.
Mm-hmm. Pidgeys and Rattatas and all those other cards.
Paris was everywhere.
Yeah, Parasect.
Zubat.
Always Zubats. I love the internet memes that show Albert Einstein where he's just like, there's 2 things in life that are true. And it said, like, death and the amount of Zubats in Mount Moon.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, the Zubat's there, and anytime you walk through high grass, it's fucking Rattata.
Yep. Without fail, walking through Viridian Forest, and then bam, run into a whole bunch of Weedles and...
Yeah, it's like, I can't get a flame Pokemon to torch the entire area first,
Right.
just to fry all the
Flamethrower your way through. Like, well, we need to get to Pewter City. Let's just burst through all these trees of the ember attack, Charmander.
Just burn through here so we don't have to deal with any of this shit.
Squirtle, make a river for me. Squirtle! Floods the entire thing.
Right? Flood all the annoying creatures out of here, please. I don't want to deal with this shit.
If you ever watched, too, like, the move Surf, it's so freaking random. Like, you'll be standing there, like, in the middle of the stadium, and then it says, Squirtle, use Surf. You see this little tiny turtle, and this giant tidal wave comes out of nowhere and, like, covers the entire field with this giant wave, and it smashes into your opponent. I'm like, where did this come from?
Magic, man.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
He projected it.
It's the most hilarious looking move. I'm just like, I always kind of viewed like Surf as more stronger than Hydro Pump.
Hydro Pump.
Because Hydro Pump would only hit like certain times, but it was really weird watching Squirtle do Hydro Pump because he would like tuck back into his turtle shell and see like this giant spurt of water just come out of the front like, and like it would smash into the opponent and be like boom.
I had forgotten there was like a hit percent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also that you could miss. Like, man, that would irk the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm. I used to do a thing where I basically like rope-a-dope, where if I ever played with like a Venusaur or with any other type of Pokemon, usually Venusaur would be a good one to do this, where I would use Leech Seed, and you basically seed your opponent and then use Sleep Powder. So they'd be asleep and they would get constantly like drained of their health over the course of time. And then you could use either Cut or like Mega Drains. They'd be constantly losing health and they're asleep and they can't do anything. And the other guy's like, God damn it!
That's like the sweep kick in Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get close if you're sweep kicking.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Cheese them. That and like anytime I play with a ghost Pokemon, you use like Confuse Ray that are supersonic and just annoy the fuck out of your opponent. It's like, oh, they hurt himself. Oh, they hurt himself. God damn it!
I forgot you could do that.
Get over it! It's right there! It's confused and hurt itself. You fucking pieces of shit! He's right there! Pikachu's too dumb to figure this out. It hurt itself and now it fainted. God! To the garbage!
They made Slowpoke so stupid he became smart.
You're condemned to the PC forever. Never withdrawing you ever again. That's like a worse fate if you think about it too. Like, okay, all those Pokemon that are just sitting in your computer inventory, which you're never going to use again, are just locked in this stasis like hell forever.
Yep. At the end of the Pokemon world,
that's horrible.
Their containers break and they're set loose.
And then if you play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, they do a thing where like all the Pokemon you catch, because you're supposed to have like catch bonuses, so you catch the same Pokemon again and again. Mm-hmm. More rare Pokemon pop up if you get like 10 of the same Pokemon you caught in a row, 20 of the same Pokemon you caught in a row, and all of a sudden like a rarity will pop up. But all those old Pokemon that you have in your inventory, you eventually send them over to Professor Oak. He'll give you candy for them. So there's like this hilarious joke of like everybody's giving Professor Oak all this Pokemon. He's basically throwing them through this freaking grinder that's spitting out like candies. Like, here you go. Here's your 10 candies.
Yep.
For all these Pidgeys I'm grinding down.
Yep. I did that. I would do that every time in Pokemon Go. I'm like, well, these are getting sent to the grinder. Make me candy.
Candies. They would only do like what limited boost of stuff, wouldn't it? Like certain ones would like raise health, other ones would raise attack, other ones speed and defense. So they'd do all kinds of stuff like that. But they weren't as good as rare candies. Rare candies actually raise a whole level.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. But there's no rare... Well, I guess there is rare candy in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, it's just for evolutions, though.
Mm-hmm. In order to get, like, to get over that hump of, like, you need a certain amount of, like, that type of Pokemon candy.
Yep.
And then you can basically evolve it up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's sort of like the blank tile and Scrabble.
And then the hoops that make you jump through for some of these evolutions is just nuts. Like one's like walk with your buddy for like 4 friggin' miles or something. It's like, really?
Yeah, walk 50 kilometers with this guy, battle with him 20 times. Like, I don't want to do this.
It's insane.
I'll walk with it, sure, but it's like play with it once a day for 6 months straight.
Mm-hmm.
Feed it 3,000 candies. Where do you think I have this time coming from?
Right. That's the other thing, too, and it's kind of sad. It's just like, who has the time to really go back and play all these? Because there's so many great Pokemon games out there.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, trying to find the time to play it. It's the real trick. We'll probably wrap this episode up here now. So, Kevin, thank you again for joining me.
It's been fun.
Finally have you on a Pokemon Roundtable. So
I almost pissed myself in the last 5 minutes.
So it was so good. So, always a good time with Kevin. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you next time on It All Depends on the Situation. Have a good one.
Goodbye, folks.